Peel.
David Chong, John Kemp, Eric Warner, and Gunnar Tutt joined us at the end. And in looking at this, the very first things we were working on was trying to define what we wanted our app to do and what kind of information it had on it. And so we had this list of info to include for each of our historic sites. And you can see there's quite a bit of stuff we were trying to do. We wanted to make sure that we could search it by location and the type of site, if it was a particular tour. So we had all of these features that we put together. We realized as we were working through this that we basically needed some kind of a database that held the information about the historic sites, and then we wanted to create a mobile app that would pull from this database and let people know when they were near a site. So we started then looking around online to see if we could find anything that was doing these things, and we found quite a number of things. So you can see our list here. One of the first places we found was the HMDB, which stands for Historical Marker Database, and it has quite a lot of information that anybody can really add to, sign up for it, and you can start adding these historic markers. Not a perfect site by any means, because if a site doesn't have a fixed historic marker there, it really shouldn't be included on it. So we started looking around at some other places like Minopedia, Placeography, Cleveland Historicals. We found all of these different sites that kind of did what we were sort of looking for, at least on the database side. And then as we went, we found Field Trip, which is the mobile app that does exactly what we want it to do. And it happens to pull from all different kinds of databases like HMDB. And so I'm just going to show you here. I'll go to, here is Field Trip, and it's free. So a couple of us downloaded it on our phones, and we checked out to see here in the Brainerd area what sites might come up. Only 5. I'm like, come on, seriously, there are more than 5 here. We checked in Little Falls, a few more in Little Falls, but really not that many, and certainly not all of us. So what we realized is here we have this app that does exactly what we need it to do, but there's not enough information in the databases on all of the sites that we would like to see come up on something like this. And so we really decided what we needed to do is work on those databases, on populating them. So we as a historical society, our step is really to create the list of what we think needs to be in this site, prioritize it by really, if the Lindbergh site isn't on something, it should be there right now. So prioritize the sites, and then see if we can get interns or volunteers to help us do the population of these sites. I'm just going to show you, here's the historical marker database for Morrison County. Here you can see it's all kind of central Minnesota. There are not very many on there, considering how many historic sites there are. So this we would need to go through and find those historic markers and get those on this particular list. Now, Field Trip pulls from, I think we found like 170 databases, but we don't have a list of them all. If you're on Field Trip and you click on a site, it'll tell you what database it's pulling from. So we can kind of see, oh, okay, HMDB is one of them. We should be populating that with the sites that work there. There was another site called Open Buildings. That will catch a number of us, like our museum, the Weyerhaeuser Museum. We don't have a marker, but we are a site. And so we could then upload to this database, and then Field Trip should pull it from there. So that's what we determined our next steps are. We've got Field Trip, let's populate some of these databases. And then we need to market Field Trip as a way for people to find historic sites, because I was, as we were trying to do our research, I could not remember all of the different sites that had some kind of history tour thing. I'm like, well, what was this one? And it took me forever to find them. So we have to do a better job of letting people know that there is a resource like this out there. Any questions? Yeah.
So you're able to populate databases